Hey everybody, Frank here, Godzilla Island for the Mazer Squad with a review of Monster Matador's Once Upon Some Monsters in Mexico, Issue 1. Really awesome comic. If you have not read any of the Monster Matadors, I highly recommend you head over to monstermatador.com and pick up Volume 1. Volume 1 includes the first story arc, which is 3 issues. Which is called the Tango of Matadors, that takes place in Guatemala. The second thing that it includes is the Afropocalypse graphic novel, which you could call the second story arc, and this is the third story arc now. And there's also inside this volume 1 is the Homecoming comic that serves as a transition between Afropocalypse to this story. Now, throughout the series, we've seen Ramon, our Monster Matador, travel the globe. Like I said, Guatemala, Africa. He hasn't been home to Mexico just yet. He's finally going home to his daughter Adelita, who he's not seen in years. She's been in the hands of Arturo, a very close family friend who saw Ramon grow up and train to be a regular matador. And then one day, the monsters broke out. They killed Ramon's wife, Adelita's mom, and Ramon's sworn revenge and to purge all the monsters from the world. But now he's finally returned home. He thought he could settle down for a little, catch up with his daughter and Arturo and to see what they've been up to. And he returns home, and it turns out his daughter, Adelita, has been training with Arturo, and Ramon's not too happy about it. We see that in Homecoming, that he's kind of like, what the hell, Arturo? I want her to be safe. But she's aged. She's gotten old. And in this issue, like other issues, we get introduced to our characters for the story arc. And it seems that those characters for this story arc in Mexico that Ramon will be working with is a father and son named Manuel, and the son is Paco, and the wife Manuel, and the wife is Noah. Manuel is a paraplegic. He has no legs, but he lives happily with his wife and his son Paco. He used to be an engineer, but now every day they head to the dump and this trash heap to dig through and kind of find old treasures that he could resell, refresh, and get money on the table to feed his family. And while they're there, he gets his balls busted by other trash pickers and dumpster divers, if you want to call them. And they notice some cockroaches on the ground, and they're like, what the hell? There's quite a lot. And then the ground begins to break, and boom, we have our main big bad. But throughout this, we just see it's almost like a swarm of locusts, these cockroaches. They're attacking the people. The little cockroaches are giving trouble. We see them do almost more damage than the big guy. I mean, we do see down the line the big guy is throwing tanks through the air. But we cut back to Ramon and Arturo at home kind of arguing about Adelita getting training. But then they hear a siren go off, and they're like, oh, we got to jump into the action. And you see Arturo's done some work while Ramon's been away, and he's turned this truck into just like a monster slayer. And he's like, well, you got a sweet ride. It looks like it's a truck that I'm assuming back in the day when Ramon was just a matador, I'm assuming it was used to transport bulls that he fought. But they're on the road, and all of a sudden out the window they see this group of people in hot rods with weapons, and it's just a group of luchadors that go by Los Fuertes, and it consists of 6 different wrestlers, luchadors, that have made it their job to fight monsters. And it's a lot of this is because of Ramon. He's become sort of a legend across the globe, known for killing monsters, and he's inspired others to fight back. So they're rushing to the city to fight the monsters, and we see Paco's mom is back in the apartment, and she's in trouble. She's waiting for them to get home. She's like, Manny, where are you? And then the ground begins to quake, and cockroaches bust out of her floor, and they're trying to get to her, and we just see this crew of luchadors just jumps into action. And back at, before, I don't want to go too far here. I wanted to point this out, and I forgot. But back at the house when Arturo was showing Ramon the sweet new ride that he had hooked up, there was a cockroach in the garage, and Ramon kind of was like he was freaked out by the cockroach. He gets to the city, sees the wrestlers getting into action. He's like, let me jump in on it. He hops on the horse in the back, begins to ride, and then he abruptly stops, freaks out, and falls off the horse. And to me, it seems like he has a phobia of cockroaches. Ramon is, from what we've seen in the previous, practically fearless. And it's funny because Paco, Manuel's son, has been having these nightmares, and it's one of the topics that Manuel brings up. He's like, listen, he's like, you know that Monster Matador you hear legends about? He's got to have fears that he faces. He's like, so you have to face your monsters too. And Paco's like, no, that's impossible. He's got no fears. He's not scared of anything. He's conquered them. Well, it might be cockroaches. We don't know for sure. It could just be he was in shock at how big this roach was, or maybe he literally does have a fear, because Arturo jokes with him. He's like, oh, don't worry, your secret's safe with me, when he kills the cockroach for him in the garage. But altogether, fun series. I just love the grittiness of it. I can't wait to see more of these luchador characters. I feel like they're going to be a fun aspect to this series, but like I've seen in previous ones, issues and stories, I don't know if it's safe to get too attached to these characters, because Steven does not hold back on getting these guys killed off. I mean, after Apocalypse, Ramon was the last one standing. Spoiler alert there, guys. And the Tango of Matadors, there were quite a few survivors, but some of the main characters that you grew attached to, they didn't make it. But absolutely love this series. I cannot wait for issue 2. I can't wait for issue 3. I can't wait for issue 4. I really wish this was almost a monthly comic. It's really that good. If you haven't read any of these yet, like I've said earlier, you're missing out. So I highly recommend you head over to monstermatador.com and pick up what you can from there. Pick up volume 1. I don't know if this is up there yet, but like I mentioned earlier, the issue 2 for Once Upon Some Monsters in Mexico, the Kickstarter page is up there for pre-launch, so you can register for pre-launch to know when it goes live. You'll definitely be able to pick up volume 1 with that. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pick up this issue with that as well, so you won't be out of the loop, and you'll be able to enjoy an awesome monster series written by Steven Prince with awesome art by Fabio Alves. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and check out Monster Matador. Please do it for yourself. Do it for me.